Some call it the war of the year. Some call it the testimony to the flagship killing or the murder that happened last year. Hey guys, this is Siddharth from The Edge, and this will be the epic comparison between the Zenfone 2 and the flagship killer, the OnePlus One. As always, let's start off with the build. The OnePlus One came out with two finishes, the sandstone black and the baby skin white. The sandstone black was different. It felt rough and soft at the same time, so it's a pleasure to hold in the hand and really nice to use. The OnePlus One also has a sleek form factor. Even though it is a bit tall, it fits really well into my hand. The Zenfone 2 comes with a variety of finishes, but the main variant comes with a sort of brushed metal plastic back, which is removable. It is removable on the OnePlus One, but only for switching the back panels, and nothing else is removable. There is no expandable storage. In the Zenfone 2, you also get other finishes, sort of like an indented golf ball. So overall in the build, I just felt that the OnePlus One felt better weighted in the hand because it was lighter, slimmer, as well as more usable. The Zenfone 2 is just a bit too wide and cumbersome to use. So this round goes to the OnePlus One. Next off, we have the button placement. The OnePlus One has a power button on the side, which is a bit towards the top, that is 3 centimeters from the top, and the Zenfone 2 has it right on the top, right in the middle, which is a really bad placement because it is a huge phone and reaching out there just doesn't make sense. Even with my huge hands, I felt really hard, I tried very hard trying to reach for the button, but it was just a tad too uncomfortable. As far as the volume button goes, Asus decided to do something different. They had these two volume buttons in the back under the camera module, which is a really good move because I really like using the volume buttons there. Even though I didn't use the volume buttons that much, they were much better than the OnePlus One. So it is a trade-off in both ways. In this round, the button placement round, it is a tie between the Zenfone 2 and the OnePlus One. Next off, let's start off with the display. Both the OnePlus One as well as the Zenfone 2 sport 16:9 inch, 5.5 inch LCD IPS panels, except the OnePlus One sports a JDI panel. So here's the difference between the both of them. Even though both of them are the aspect ratio 16:9, the Zenfone 2 is just a slightly bit wider, so it isn't exactly 5.5 inches. In fact, the OnePlus One is actually a bit taller than the Zenfone 2. In terms of the color as well as vividity and the white balance on the screen, I would say the OnePlus One is just a bit better. Both give you options to change around or tweak around with the color and the white balance, etc. But I just found that the whites on the OnePlus One were much better, the colors were more vibrant, and the image wasn't as washed out as it was in the Zenfone 2. So even in bright sunlight, when you go out there, the Zenfone 2 is just a bit not bright. I mean, you take the OnePlus One out and it's really bright. It does the work. It's not as good as an AMOLED screen, but it is significantly much better than the Zenfone 2. So in the display category, the winner is the OnePlus One. Points to that. Let's start off with the cameras. The OnePlus One has a 13 megapixel camera with an f2.0 Sony sensor. The Zenfone 2 has a 13 megapixel camera as well with a Toshiba sensor. Well, here's the difference between the two. Going outside and taking a few pictures, this is what I found. Basically, OnePlus in bright sunlight performs well, but it does have more artificial sharpening, and which is something I do not really like. Go to the Zenfone 2, you have the same problem. Colors, everything is nice, really good, but the details are a bit smoothed out. Both aren't the best cameras you can get on the market, but both do the job really well. For normal average consumers or circumstances, they both perform well. But the Zenfone 2 has some neat software tricks up its sleeve, like a manual mode, as well as a low light mode, as well as a depth of field mode. All use clever software tricks to make the photo better. Now, the OnePlus One also has a manual mode, coming to that later though. Now, basically the night mode on the Zenfone 2 is definitely the trump card for the Zenfone camera because it gives way better low light photos than the OnePlus One. Basically what this technology does is it binds 4 pixels in a photo together so that overall you're getting more light into the picture at a smaller resolution. So as long as you're going to be viewing this picture on your phone, you are going to get more light on your phone without ever using the flash. Now coming to the manual mode on both the phones. Both the phones allow you to adjust the ISO as well as the white balance as well as many other characteristics freely, which is something I really like about both phones. But the OnePlus One has the edge even in this scenario because of the fact that you can output the images in RAW. So basically, if you do not want any artificial sharpening, you can edit the photo yourself and make it a bit better. So in this round, overall, I have a grade scale of 5 points. And out of the 5 points, 2 points go to the Zenfone 2 and 3 points to the OnePlus One. 2 points that go to the Zenfone 2 are for the low light performance. 3 points that go to the OnePlus One are for the manual mode as well as the RAW mode. One more addition is the selfie camera. The selfie camera on both are okay, but the OnePlus One is slightly better, even though the Zenfone 2 offers better software tricks to make your face, I don't know, white, which I think is a really bad idea. So as far as the selfie camera goes, 2 points to the OnePlus One and 2 points to the Zenfone 2. It's pretty much a tie. Next off, let's start off with the video capabilities. The OnePlus One is capable of shooting RAW 4K. How cool is that? 4K people, and a flagship killer, a $300 phone shooting 4K is just impeccable. Along with electronic image stabilization that's built in, it's really good. It's not optical image stabilization, but it does give you some degree of control as well as less degree of shake. So that's really good. As far as the OnePlus One goes, it can record 1080p at 60 fps and 4K at 30 fps. The Zenfone 2 can record only 1080p at 30 fps. Even the video wasn't the best, as most of the things were blown out of proportion and there was more light entering some places and less light entering some other places. So overall, the OnePlus One's video capabilities are much better. So points to the OnePlus One. Next off, let's start off with something YouTubers don't usually do. SAR compliance. SAR is a major issue in our world today, and most of these devices emit a lot of electromagnetic radiation which affects our ears as well as our brains. So one of the most important things I guess we need to mention is the SAR value of phones, because it really is a huge issue. Now both of these phones by no means have high SAR values, but just in comparison I'll tell you how much they each have. So basically you're having a SAR value of around 0.675 average head and body for the OnePlus One and 0.3499 for the Zenfone 2. So in terms of SAR compliance, Zenfone 2 is better and it isn't going to be as bad for your health as the OnePlus One, but it doesn't mean that this OnePlus One is by any means unhealthy. They both have low SAR values. SAR values above 1 is where you're going to see brain tumors and all sort of stuff going into your body. So both have really good SAR compliances, but the Zenfone 2 in this regard is better and more child safe.